Hi everybody, Mr. Jones. Let's learn how to play We Will Rock You by the rock band Queen, right? And it's that one where you stomp, stomp, clap, stomp, stomp, clap, right? And it's got a really easy melody like a lot of pop music, and it uses notes. Well, we can use some of these notes that I don't know what the original song's in, but these are notes that we can use to play almost exactly the same thing, and they're notes that we already know. So it starts on a G, so I'm playing the cello. After this video there'll be violin and viola and bass videos too. But on the cello it starts 4 on our D string, and cellos have from the thick to thin, because we go through thick and thin together. Cats go down alleys. So if you're still forgetting what your D string is, you should know it by now. That's the way to figure it out, from thick to thin. Cats go down alleys. D string 4. For violas and violins it's D string 3. And violins, you have good dogs always eat, from thick to thin. So if you need to find your dog string, it's your second skinniest. And violas, you have the same as cello. Cats go down, so you're second skinniest. Oh, I said violin wrong. Violin is third skinniest, sorry. So violas have cats go down alleys. Violins have good dogs always eat. Hopefully you know your D string. And basses have elephants are decidedly great. So find that D string. 3 for violin and viola, 4 for cello. Basses actually use their open G string for the first note. So if you want to try and play along, it's really easy. You just go G, then you go F sharp, then you go E, then you go D. Right? Don't wave your hands so far. That's actually a bad habit, right? You want to keep them close. But I'll show you what it looks like to help you when you're looking. Now, I didn't say what we ended on, but did you notice it went back to the E? So the fingerings for each other instrument will come after this video, but for now, G, F sharp, E, D, E, E, yeah? And so if you can get yourself recorded using Soundtrap, it's on your Music First login under software, and it's called Soundtrap. It's a recording studio, and I just sat down and recorded myself clapping the part on some different sound makers and putting it together, and then I just looped it over and over again, and I got this, so I can have a jam session with you. Ready to jam? If you need to pause and practice those notes, okay? And then in the middle of the song, when he goes, buddy, you're a grown man, something, 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 that's basically D, and then E, 1. There's usually an A in there as well, and then G, if you want to try that part. I'm going to jam with you, and we'll play the song together a couple times through with a cool beat. A little bit louder here. I'll turn off the metronome because it's rock and roll. The drums are our metronome. A little bit louder here. Ready? G fingers. 1, 2, ready, play. G, F sharp, E, open. Times. Ready, go. G, F sharp, E, D, E. Stop talking now. I'll do the part now. Get ready. Here we go. Did you hear it? Do that middle part again. Try it with me. Whoops. I think I got off there. Last one, guys. Cool, I'm going to play a part. Now you try to play it with me. Lots of fun can be had. You can drive people crazy playing that over and over again. Here's another fun technique you can do that actually teaches you some good posture things. When you hear rock and roll guitar, a lot of time you hear that sound kind of in the beginning when they're sliding their fingers down the strings or sometimes scraping their pick along the strings. You can do that too. Cellos, if you're not sitting right, it'll be hard to play that right on that high notes. So it's a test of your great posture too. Are you sitting up nice and tall? Are your hips sort of slightly leaning forwards? Okay, we don't want to round our back. You know, like in yoga, right? When we do the cat, when you make this shape and this shape, we kind of want that shape. We kind of want that gorilla shape. Okay, so if you do a slide, reaching up as high as you can, usually with my third finger, and I slide down. Two strings sometimes makes it more fun. So that's something you can do that's fun. Cellos, if you want to play another version of it too, you can play down low. It's kind of hard for beginners if you're not comfortable with the C string yet, and it does have a note we call extended 4, where we go past where our 4 normally goes. I'll show you the notes if you want to try. It goes open G, this is a low G, and then extended 4. So our hand just kind of opens up. It actually opens up here between 1 and 2. So you just keep your 1 where it normally goes, and you kind of go reach farther. And your thumb should move with it too, right? Your thumb should stay with that 2. When you go extended position, bring that thumb forwards, or at least relax your thumb. Okay, it helps open up your hand. If it hurts, don't do it right now. It's better to teach this in person if we can. But the notes, if you're wanting to try, great finger posture when you get to that C string, otherwise it won't sound. 4, extended 4, then 2 plays the note that used to be 3. If that doesn't make sense, don't worry about it. 2, and then 1. That's where the big stretch is between 1 and 2. Okay, open, high 4, extended 4, sorry. 2, 1, 2. Okay, and then there's a chord I can play. If you lay it down kind of like a ukulele or a guitar chord, we actually lay a bar where our 3 normally goes. One there, connect that 1 across with a straight bar in the same place, and then put a 2 down on your D string and a 4 down on your A string. It's sort of tricky, and it's kind of requires some more hand strength than you might be used to, but some of you might really be ready for this and want to try it. So this is an E minor chord, and you can take this shape all around the instrument and play different chords. And I can't see my bow very well, but I'm just hitting the low string and then hitting the top 2 string. Those rhythms that I'm getting, that chop rhythm, is just from not pushing the strings all the way down. So if you need to see violin, viola, and bass, they're coming up. Otherwise, have fun playing We Will Rock You. Make your own Soundtrap recording of yourself. Have fun rocking. So here's a little bit on the bass. If you want to make kind of that rock and roll sliding sound on the bass, just reach up really high, maybe third finger, second finger, probably not fourth, but you know, it doesn't really matter. This is just for fun. Reach up really high and let that finger slide down, and hopefully you can do it without losing control of the bass as you're sitting, hopefully on a stool, or standing with a nice balanced posture. Okay, your fingerings are open G, 4 on the D, F sharp, 1, E, open, and then 1, 1. And if you want to play the verses, same as the other instruments, open and 1 on D. A cool thing the bass can add to when you play this is to play the low E, because no one else has a low E like this. Really fun to do all day long until you get tired of it. But so if you want to make your own recording on Soundtrap, you could start with the boom boom clap, boom boom clap, and then loop that over and over and add with the bass, and then okay, happy rocking. So here's a little bit of what the viola can do extra on We Will Rock You. If you want to do your slides, you have to have a good shoulder rest, some sort of good holding position, because if you're clamping down on it, it's really hard to do these shifting things, and that's the beginning of our vibrato sound too, to be able to do that shape. So hopefully you can hold it fairly easily. There's a little bit of tension, but we try to be as relaxed as possible so that you can reach up as high as you can, probably with your third finger, your ring finger, right, all the way up, and reach, see how you can make that slide sound. Okay, and your fingerings for you are 3 on the D, 2 on the D, 1 on the D, open, and back to 1. And when you do the verses, the same thing as all the other instruments. Oh, 1, 1, oh, 1, 1, open and 1. And then you could do a little more of it on the A string. But that's a little more than we wanted to teach, so have fun. Something fun that the viola could do then is play it down an octave. You can play lower notes, which would be your open G, and then something on our C string we call high 3, where you take your normal 3 and you just kind of scooch it up a notch. So you see how I've got a big gap between my 1 and my 2, and my 2 and my 3 now. Usually 2 and 3 are pretty close in the beginning, but it's called high 3. Don't hurt yourself. If it's hard to play, you might have to do a little more stretching or some growing, or you might position your viola differently. But if you play open G and then high 3, so you're not on the tape, you're in between the 3 and the 4 tape, and then your 2 where it was before, and then 1, and then 2, because those are the same notes, 1 octave below G, F sharp, high 3, 2, 1, 2. But your easy way is on the D string, the notes that we've been focusing on. You can also do the chord that the cello was doing. I'm not very good at it on the viola. Put your 1 where your 2 normally goes, and your 1 on your G string, same place, and then a 2 on your D string. And then your 3 has to reach up to this high note there where your 4 normally goes, this D, and that's difficult for me, and I'm okay on the viola, so be careful, don't hurt yourself, don't overstretch, and if it doesn't sound great, that's okay. It's pretty advanced technique, but if you want to try, some of you need that challenge. Happy rocking! Okay, this is a little bit about how the violins can play the We Will Rock You, specifics about fingers and the cool things we can do. If you want to do that sliding sound, you have to have a good shoulder rest set up, something that works for you to not be able to clench down too much. Let me raise it up just a hair so you can see my lovely face, because it matters for our posture, right? We don't want to be clenching over and rounding over. So if you can't move your hand around freely here, you've got some development to do. Sometimes it's not easy in the beginning, so if you're not there yet, that's okay, but see if you can find a place that works for you, where your spine is straight and you're not clenching down for dear life. There's a little bit of tension there, so that's why we take breaks and stretch. But if you want to be able to reach up high and do that cool slide, then you have to be able to be free. And then, of course, for later on, that technique we call vibrato, where we shake the finger back and forth. It's really important to be able to be holding the instrument with our neck and our shoulder, but primarily. So, if you want to do the rock and roll slide, it looks like this. Usually my 3rd finger probably, right? Ring finger, all the way up at the top as high as you can go, and you even reach around the instrument a little bit, and you slide down. Right, and your fingerings were, if you needed to see it in detail, 3 on the D, 2, 1, open, 1. And then the verses, the parts where he sings, "Buddy, you're a grown man," is open and 1. Basically, there's a couple other notes, open A, and then 3 on the D. Okay, and you can do something fun on the violin, which is play it up another octave. So playing another G instead of this G, you're going to play this G. Can't quite sing it, but I can play it. So that's going to be on our E string. If you haven't tried this one, playing a 2. Now this is a funny 2. It's called a low 2. We're not putting our 2 normally where it goes, which is spaced out. We're going to actually sneak our 2 back towards our 1. And I don't have tapes on my personal instrument, so it's hard to see, but that's where our first tape is. Your second tape is up here, right? If you sneak that back, we call that low 2. And that's, you'll hear, to play the G, as same as your open G, as long as your G's in tune. That's the way we play it. So it goes low 2, and then 1 on your E, and then open E. And then it changes over to the 3 on the A. This is pretty advanced. We don't do a lot of these string crossings so early, and we haven't played the E string yet, most of us. And then it opens on your E string. So the pattern is 2, 1, open, and then you have to be ready for this 3. That's tricky. A lot of us leave our fingers out, and then we're like, oh no, 3, come back! And you're too late. So have that 3 ready. 2, 1, open, 3. And then to play that middle part, you put a 3 on your A string, and then play your open E at the same time, making a tunnel. That's a tricky skill that is totally worth developing. And at first, it sounds really bad. Your fingers get in the way, and it's really frustrating. So don't be surprised if it's hard. This is some advanced stuff if you want to try it. The high octave. Right? That would be 3 for the man someday. 3 on your E string. Did I get everything? Slides and octaves. Yep. That's have fun rocking, everybody.